moment that you set foot on this fairgrounds, you see twinkling lights, you hear animals, you hear rides, people screaming with joy, you smell manure and fried food and spun sugar. It really is sensory overload in every direction that you look. But I think that's why it's such a great showcase for everything that's great about our state. Advertising art has been at the heart of getting the word out about the Minnesota State Fair since the very beginning. 12 years ago, we embarked on a brand new program whereby we would commission a Minnesota artist to actually create that art for the State Fair. Goal of the commemorative art piece is to have an annual piece of artwork that the Minnesota State Fair Foundation could use to support their mission of improving the State Fair's historic buildings and grounds. And I think that sort of exemplifies the fair from a specific artist's point of view. Walk us through kind of what the additions might be from what we're seeing at this point.
I think we're going to move everything over a little bit in order to fill up the space a little bit better and give the whole piece a better balance. We're going to add in fireworks because that's something that's really been special for the grandstand shows.
This year, for 2015, we hand-selected artist Adam Turman to be the official commemorative artist for the Minnesota State Fair. He's a muralist, an illustrator, a screen printer. He's very, very well-known and well-loved in the community.
How will the Ferris wheel pop as far as color?
Oh, that's a good question. What I'm planning on doing is add on those fun little lights that the Ferris wheel has.
That'll kind of add a lot of whimsy.
The Ferris wheel at night has these beautiful little light bulbs that light up, and then they radiate out from the center, and it's just a lot of fun to watch it go around. And I think adding in those lights will give the Ferris wheel that movement.
The process is very collaborative. From the moment that the artist, in this case Adam, is sort of in that sketch phase, we're talking about what that sketch might look like, what the colors might be. And then we sort of let the artist go to work for a while and then determine kind of what direction we want to take from there.
What I'm proposing is using my medium as screen printed prints as the final product that people could buy.
Fabulous. I think that would be wonderful because I think that's what people expect from you is a screen. When they're buying a piece, they're buying a screen print from you.
I think this is great.
But after we're through that initial sketch phase and we've talked a little bit color and concepting that way, the artist is really on their own to create the piece once that sketch is approved. Came to the table with a great love of the fair and some great ideas about what he wanted to include in his piece.
What we're doing in the 2015 artwork is we're showcasing the elements of the fair that everybody recognizes. What was great was I had the opportunity to walk through the fair with the State Fair representatives. When I'm looking around for landmarks that I think are exciting, I'm looking for angles, I'm looking for shapes. Basically elements of the fair that everybody recognizes, such as the grandstand, such as the Ferris wheel, but also new things like the West Market space. It's a brand new space, and this area where this archway is now a new transit hub where many fairgoers enter the fair.
We were most excited to see the streetcar arch. It has been a part of the Minnesota State Fair since the 1930s. So it's a new landmark at the State Fair that's an old landmark.
The process I call it is analog, digital, analog. And everything is really started as a hand-drawn piece. So everything is created by hand, it's brought into the computer, it's separated through the computer, and then we print it basically by hand. Today we're printing the final color on a 5-color print for the Minnesota State Fair. Adam
will actually be printing the limited edition of 100 prints. And then we'll also have a run of posters that's done by Seven Corners Printing here in St. Paul. The Minnesota State Fair commemorative art is truly a Minnesota piece of art from start to finish, because we not only have a Minnesota artist create the piece, but we involve Minnesota vendors, whether it be the printing process or the framing process. We're working with vendors and businesses in our community. As soon as the artist is finished creating the original piece of art, we take it to be matted and framed.
I really like the matting to have some sort of an accent of the color that's actually in the print.
You have that background gray that's there. I think that would be a nice neutral kind of accent on the edge.
Tim Smith has been framing all of the commemorative art pieces since the very beginning back in 2004.
It's something like this.
That's kind of nice.
Oh, that's nice.
I like that.
Let's take a look at some frames. That would coordinate with those grays would be nice. So here's a silver with a gray kind of striation in it. But I really think that sets off the art.
I love it. I think we're good to go.
I love
Okay,
it too.
great.
The fair is important and significant to the state of Minnesota and even the larger region in so many ways. The Minnesota State Fair is actually older than the state of Minnesota. It's an annual event that people can look forward to. Some years are tougher than others. There have been summers where there have been horrible storms and horrible flooding and terrible things that have happened in the community, but people can always count on the fact that the Great Minnesota Get-Together is going to happen. I think that the ability to rely on something like that, where you're surrounded by, on any given day, 200,000 of your closest friends and neighbors, is really something special.